need keys to veterans,
I
I
need
don't need
keys.
keys to
I want
windows.
keys to
I don't-
everything
I
I'm
don't-
entitled to. Everything I am entitled to and responsible
Terry, I
for,
can-
just
I'll
to be
tell-
clear.
I'll tell you, you know, it's when the meeting's ended, because I'm not permitted to speak fully.
Absolutely.
Okay, so 7, discuss Veterans Park construction, status engineer, solicitor recommendations, and water line installations. We've covered most of that, except for water line installation.
I'd just like to touch on the Veterans Park quick. After discussion with Gary and Harshman today, I really think a meeting, once Gary gets an eyeball on all the paperwork, should be in order. Have a representative from the township there, but I would also like the board to consider a different way to seed that. I've asked JMD, they're gonna do it as a courtesy to me, they're gonna analyze the topsoil and make a recommendation, what it needs and the seeding. But I'd like to see if we can get Pavlicek to do this, if we, the only way we're gonna do it, if they say it's gotta have some more pH or whatever is in it, pay for the extra chemicals, and I'd like to see a deep drill seeding. If we don't, we gotta get seeding and get it green this fall, we're not gonna be able to play on it in the spring, and I don't believe you'll be able to play on it in the fall of next year unless we're very lucky with the weather, and if we get our own water lines in and we get constant water on it. I'd like to see that established at a meeting, but Gary has to look at all the paperwork yet. I'd like to see if we could do that.
So Terry, when you add that to the agenda for the next time, could you also add an approve deny for a supervisor to attend that meeting? Similar like we did with the police contracts?
I'd like to see it before the next meeting.
Well,
I like to get keys.
While you're on plat check, I just noticed on the bill pay, there's an invoice, $31,160 for plat check. Any,
Elrama.
that's the Elrama.
that's a different project.
Yeah.
So you don't have any problem with paying them even though they're in reach of this.
I don't think we should.
You're on top of it. Are you recommending payment, Sean?
We did recommend payment for, Elrama. I wanna say that was maybe a month and a half ago.
Are we sitting on any invoices for veterans?
Plavchak sent an invoice and he had maybe 89% of the seating he wanted to be paid out, so we touched base with him and, asked him to revise it. Asked him to revise it to 0, and he sent us back an invoice revised to 5,000, which is maybe 45% of the total for seating. He said he wanted us to get that in front of the board, so, you know.
But I thought seating was a problem.
It is, and I told him that, so it won't come with our recommendation, but.
Well, what's gonna be important is what the soil study shows.
Well, I don't know if that was in his bid spec. I'm just saying, I wanted to get the soil analyzed, so when we do plant it this second time, that we've done everything we can.
Yeah, the issue with, that's going on out there, a lot of the seed was put down. I went out and picked up seeds, looked at it, it had cracked open, it began germinating, and then it dried out, so the seed's dead.
We got some work to do. Yeah, we need to have, get real meeting with him in person down there, I think.
That's a $300,000 contract?
$400,000.
And how much is he paid?
$100,000.
So there's still $300,000 sitting to correct the problem. If need be.
Correct.
Alrighty, moving on to item number F, which is the bill pay approval. Item number 1, approve deny payroll dated July 22nd, 2022, in the amount of $13,658.72 for 2 administration, 1 intern, 3 road crew, and 1 tax collector.
Make a motion to approve the payroll dated July 22nd, 2022, in the amount of $13,658.72.
I'll second the motion for the payroll from July 22nd, 2022.
sorry,
Yes.
I cut you off, I did. Item number 2, approve deny bill pay list for the Brentwood Bank general account in the amount of $151,524.65.
I'll make a motion to approve the bill pay list out of the Brentwood general account for $151,524.65.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, Lawson motions, Trapp seconds to approve the bill pay list for $151,524.65. Any discussion?
Yeah, I would like to point out that this is another bill pay with Kathleen Gallagher's, Gallagher Giacola firm. There's bills of hers in here that are from last June. I know that I mentioned it the last time we paid her, that they were from last year, but this is even further back. I mean, there's on here 6/08/2021, 6/09/2021. I did request from Ms. Singer, from Mr. Sweat, and from this firm, any unpaid invoices from last year. Roberta told me that she didn't have any. Sweat Law Firm said they weren't coming to them anymore, and her firm didn't answer me. But I am continually shocked at the fact that we are still paying attorney bills that are over a year old.
I'm continually shocked that we're embroiled in several of these lawsuits and that we are still working on them and paying more.
I don't know how to adequately keep track of what you paid for, what you didn't pay for. If this work was done, this is over a year ago.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, roll call vote please.
Mr. Trax.
Yes.
Ms. Dare.
Yes.
Mr. Lawson.
Yes.
Mr. Barna.
Same.
Ms. Dupree.
No.
And Mike, for the record, you're abstaining based on these bills because it was your first meeting and, okay. If you can't stay, the abstain, if you wouldn't mind. 3, approve, deny, bill pay list for the Brentwood Bank Elrama sewage account in the amount of $6,672.63.
I'll make a motion to approve bill pay list out of the Brentwood Elrama sewage account for $6,672.63.
I will second that. Bill pay for